Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back again to another edition of Moments with Lulu. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. A lot of you come here, you watch my videos and you don't subscribe. And of course, also give this video a huge thumbs up. Even before you start watching, you have to do that right away. And for all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for your comments, your likes. It goes a long way to support my channel and I really do appreciate it. So today's video is just gonna be talking about the expectations of being a new grad RN. I'll just put it out there. It's been 2 years ever since I became an RN. I remember this year, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, where I was just a baby nurse starting out in the clinical setting in an acute care space, very timid, very shy, not very confident in my practice, if you know what I mean. Lots of hesitations, lots of oh my goodness, what's going on with my patient moments. I had a very fair and I had a fair share of experience. Some of it were terrible, some of it were, oh my goodness, what is going on? Is this career for me? Whatever, whatnot. Anyways, it's been 2 years. We've come along, we've come so far, and I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of improvements, you know, lots of positive things in my career, which makes me so excited, which makes me happy to even want to talk more about it. Long story short, today's video is just going to be talking about the expectations of a new grad RN and some of the things that we can do to alleviate those, you know, negative perceptions, those struggles, those like difficult moments, those challenges and whatnot. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. Being a new grad RN comes with a lot of, not a lot of expectations per se. It's just that there's probably less expectations, but the expectations are, should I say, high, in the sense that you're just new, fresh out of school. You're not expecting to have yourself on the floor responsible for 4 or 5 patients, 3 patients, 1 patient, depending on the acuity and the patient ratio on the floor. You come out, you'll be like, oh my god, where's my preceptor? You know, there's so much on you right now. You came from being a nursing student, being liable to your university, to your nursing school, and now you're on your own, having your license speak for you. So this is you and you are your patient, you're your license. Whatever happens, it's all on you. So that can be a huge shift, a huge disconnect from the regular, like what we know, sort of, oh, my preceptor looking over me, letting me know where I'm making a mistake on whatnot. So that is one. Secondly, some of the things that can happen in terms of like scheduling. I know I had this, it was kind of like at a disadvantage for me in the sense that scheduling wasn't something that was very friendly to me, in the sense that I came straight out of school and decided to be a casual staff because I just wanted to live my life, not being tied to a position or being tied to a schedule for 1 year, 2 years in advance and whatnot. I didn't want to wake up to the idea of, oh my god, am I awake? Am I working today? I'm working December of 2024 when it's not even 2024. So I just wanted a casual, I thought it would give me a soft landing to help me prepare myself and whatnot. So that's another thing that might be challenging, in the sense that if you take casual shifts or you pick up shifts at your own time, that could put you in a position of, you know, not getting enough hours for your experience and whatnot. So that can be a struggle and something that people tend to, you know, try to weigh, to gauge, to see where they fit and whatnot. Is that always a good thing? Again, it depends on the circumstances surrounding your life, but it's definitely a struggle when it comes to being a new grad versus choosing to be a casual staff versus a full-time staff. So it just depends on the individual to choose wisely. This one is important in the sense that school doesn't prepare you for the job that you're going to do in a community or in the hospital setting when you're finally on your own. What I'm trying to say is that you learn a lot of things in school, information overload, some things you don't even use in your practice, but a lot of things you tend to use in your practice and build your way up from there. What I'm trying to say basically is that usually school will teach you a bunch of things that will set you up for success for your NCLEX exam, so that's your nursing licensure. But a lot of times you see yourself, you know, let's say for example you work in a urology, like you work in a floor that does only things related to the kidney, the bladder, whatever, and you're probably missing those aspects of like the heart, the brain. Like, it's not where your focus is. So sometimes a lot of your skills can be limited in the sense that, okay, well, I went to school, they taught me this, but now where I'm working, I don't have this knowledge, so you now have to learn it on the job. A very classic example is like working with the pediatric population or working with newborns, neonates. So that is to say that usually, like when I went to school, I never had any pediatric sort of orientation or lecture or training and whatnot. So it's like when I come into the broader society, there's no way I want to go work in a pediatric or neonatal setting. But there are some people who find that to be very interesting, very lovely, like that's what they want to do for the rest of their life, and that's okay. But then it puts you in a position whereby you have to learn the pediatric population, because there are things that they do that is different in terms of like anatomy, body surface, body size, that's so different from what you do when you're working with an adult population. But again, the nursing care, the knowledge, the foundation is there to set you up for success. But sometimes that can be a harsh reality and a struggle for some nursing students. So it's all up to you. Choose your battles wisely. The fourth thing is day shifts, your 12-hour shifts, days and nights. Those can be very exhausting in the sense that you come out from school, you're used to 8 hours of clinical time. Let's say 8 hours 4 times a week, or 8 hours 3 times or 2 times a week. However, your school schedules it. It could be bi-weekly, it could be consecutive. What I'm trying to say is that you don't do 12-hour shifts while you're going to school. You usually start that in your preceptorship. So preceptorship is a time for nurses who are going to be graduate nurses, who are going to be RNs. So during your last semester or second to last semester, they make you do something where they call preceptorship. So final practicum, where it solidifies everything you've learned. You choose a specific area where you want to go work, or where you feel like, you know, exerting your nursing competence with some supervision, but now you're considered a senior nursing student. So when you come out and when you do that, it's a lot of 12-hour shifts. And then struggling with 12-hour shifts is a harsh reality for new grads. I have struggled with that. Like I just didn't see myself working 12 hours nights, and I think that's also part of the reason why I couldn't put myself in a position to do that. So being in a line, in a temporary or permanent, because myself and my sleep, my night sleep is the most important thing to me, because it's like wake up time is 4:30, 5 o'clock. I don't want to be having to wake up so early to stay awake for the whole day, 12 hours, just to go to my work and start my shift at 7 o'clock at night and go for 48 hours or 24 hours without decent, adequate sleep. So I just couldn't see myself in that. But that is something that is a struggle for a lot of people. When I did my preceptorship and I had those 12 hours, oh my goodness, I was so thankful that my preceptor even did not like night shifts. So she had more days than nights in her schedule, which was to my own advantage, and I was so happy. Okay, this is something I struggled with. It made me slow. Like the idea that you have to double check and triple check everything is very good practice. In fact, it's best practice to double check, triple check, ask people if you don't know. But the downside I found with that is that it made me slower in my activities of nursing practice. And sometimes it put me in a situation whereby some things are timely. This is urgent. Like this is something that should be done now. But truth be told, if you really need to check, double check, triple check, whatever, go ahead and do it. No one is going to come after you for not doing something on time, but they will come after you when you do that thing and you don't do it right. That is when there's going to be a problem. So again, it's up to the individual. I would say that there's nothing wrong with that practice. Just try to be more conservative with your time. You know, if it means you have to look up something to get information or to, you know, defend your practice or to do the right thing, go ahead and do it. Don't listen to people who make you feel like, oh, you're too slow, you need to speed up. It will come. Like time management and everything, I did have that struggle when I was a new grad, and more so because I was working on the ward. I don't think the ward is for a person like me. I cannot handle 4 or 5 patients. That's why I had to transition myself to work in a ICU, because there is no way on the planet that I'm gonna survive with 4 patients. That's why I've been looking at the nurses that work in the ward. I'm like, I could never do this job. Not derogatory or anything. It's just I do not have the patience. I do not have the time management skills to work with ward patients, because they're just a lot. I'd rather have my patient be very sick, extremely sick. That is okay for me. As long as I'm dealing with one person, one human being, one soul, one body system, one person. Like, I know what's going on from your head to your toes, so from your brain to your toes. That's all I need to know to care for you as a one person, one patient. I'm not 2, I'm not 3, I'm not 4. So I'm not sure why I should be working with 4 patients. And I feel rushed. It's like there's this feeling of like you're feeling rushed with like 4 or 5 patients. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I couldn't function on your ward. But ever since I transitioned to working in ICU for like the last year and almost passing a year right now, it's been the best decision of my life. I don't even know why I took so much time, because thinking about it, I precepted in a cardiovascular intensive care unit, so I'm not sure how and what the relationship is or was with going to work on the ward. I only spent a few months on the ward and realized that I can't do this. I can't do this. I cannot. This is not for me. I just need my focus, my brain, because my brain was working, but my clinical skills, my time management, that part was always missing. There was always some sort of, what is going on? Really, like, oh my God, you need to stop and check yourself. So that's how I decided to, you know, this whole ward, 4 patients, 5 patients, not for me. We're not doing it. It doesn't matter how much the pay is gonna be, but the ward experience ran away with time. Like, I couldn't even last up to a year. The feeling of you just don't think you know enough. It's also the same ideology of you've gone to school, you've gathered all the knowledge as possible, as best as you can. They really cannot teach you everything. You cannot never know everything. Even in a place you work, there are days where you have to ask your fellow nurses, you have to even ask the patient, because they know. You think they don't know? They know a lot of things. You have to ask the nurses, you have to ask the patient, ask the doctor, ask the patient's family. You just never know it all. Regardless of how long you've worked in a particular setting, you will never know everything. And no one is meant to know everything. And that's how sometimes errors happen, mistakes occur here and there. Not that it's intentional, but it's just one of those things that comes with a job like this, where you're dealing with people, sick human beings, people who need you, who need your time, your physical energy, your mental, emotional energy, and whatnot. Because there'll be a lot of times whereby I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, why is my patient doing this? Like, what is going on? And sometimes it could be mentally stressful, physically, emotionally, and whatnot. But I would tell you that you're not meant to know everything. You're not supposed to know everything, regardless of how many years of experience you have. So if you're a new nurse, do not beat yourself up about this. You know, it's normal. It's okay, and it's not a big deal. Honestly, there is a lot to take in as a new grad nurse. It's not an easy journey. Like, the idea of starting nursing school, going through 3 years, 4 years, coming out, taking your NCLEX exam, is a lot of work, and then transitioning to being an RN, because some of us just come out of school and we are not even graduated, and we go right to take our nursing licensure exam. It doesn't make you a competent, qualified nurse per se. It just gives you the badge, the license, just helps to increase your pay, your salary, your wage per hour, whatever. But you also need to remember that regardless of you having the title as an RN or a new grad nurse or whatever it is called, you need to remember that experience is key. You need to ask questions, you need to put yourself out there. Having a RN license doesn't mean anything if you cannot, you know, use it to the fullest. So you have to explore your fullest potential with that license. Ask questions, volunteer yourself, be there, make yourself available all the time. Whatever it takes to gain the experience you need to be very strong with your clinical skills, with your practice, with your critical thinking, is what you should do. And to be honest with you, it's not going to be easy. If it were easy, like I say, everyone would do it. Everyone would do it. And the fact that you could survive 4 years of school means that you have something big coming out, you know, eventually. So don't give up, keep trying. No one ever gets it right away or perfectly well the first time. For example, you instead of Foley for the first time, you might do it perfectly well, but it's not so perfect in the sense that if you try to take a closer look at it, let's say there was some hesitation or there was some time wasted, not necessarily time wasted, you just took longer, versus someone who keeps doing it frequently, you know, there is more potential for, I got this, you know, just close your eyes and, you know, do the thing and you're done. So all I'm trying to say is that it takes time, you know, nursing practice, learning different conditions, understanding different patient presentation takes a lot of time. And that's the same thing for me. Even right now, if I go to a unit or like a different area of medicine that I've never experienced, like someone asking me to come work in neurology, what is the relationship between me and working in a neuro unit kind of thing? Again, it all comes down to the point of there's going to be some hesitation. There's going to be a lot of things I don't know, because that is not my area of expertise. That is not an area of focus for me. I am more into the cardiovascular aspect of a person. So it's like neurology or your blood or your kidneys, you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is that be patient. Your experience is your experience. Nursing is not linear. That's another thing. In school they might teach you this is the way you do it, but is that actually the way that you should always do it? You can make tweaks, you can change things here and there, you can do things that's gonna fit into your practice and whatnot. But again, at the same time, just make sure that you're following guidelines, protocols, best practice and whatnot. And at the end of the day, you'll see yourself soaring, you know, higher, more farther and farther than you've ever expected. So be patient with yourself. That's also another thing about learning. It requires patience. A lot of patience is not only required for the profession itself, but for you as a person, because it does get frustrating when you're trying to do something and it's not coming as like quick as you hoped or as you expected. And I will not end this video without talking about taking good care of yourself, because as a new grad nurse, some of us tend to, you know, we forget that we are humans. There is no competition for your mental health. You have to put yourself first. And again, putting yourself first doesn't mean that you do not care about other people, you don't care about your fellow nurses, or you don't care about your patients. No, that's not what it means. It just means putting yourself in a situation that makes you safe. And in order to be safe, you look after you first, okay? That way you'll be able to give the same energy, same level of care to your patients, you know, address them, be there for them wholeheartedly after you are satisfied and ready to go as a person, mentally, physically, emotionally, and whatnot. So yeah, to all the new grad nurses out there, it's never an easy experience. There is always going to be challenges. It's normal. Be you a new grad, LPN, RN, healthcare aide, residents, doctor, fellow, whatever you are. First times are always, you know, there's some resistance, there's some friction, but then again, you will come out successfully. And I'm very positive about that, and it's a known fact. It's a really known fact. So yeah, that brings me to the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And for people who have graduated or are just graduating, or people still in nursing school, share your thoughts in the comment section. It's an open space. I'm going to reply all comments as best as I can. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye for now.